This is Passion Squared headquarters. Nina Kovner, this is where she is. There she is.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Welcome to the lawn.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good to see you. Brought you a little something, you know.
How did you know?
Oh, I know.
Welcome, everybody.
This is Donovan.
Hi, Donovan.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Come in, my lovely.
Come on to my house, I'm gonna give you candy. Come on to my house, I'm gonna give you apple, plum, and
Boy, it smells so good in here.
Oh, thank you. I'm gonna
Passion Squared headquarters.
for every guest that comes, I make this really special natural room spray. So that's what it is. So before we finish today, you'll go home with your own Passion Squared aromatherapy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really? My own?
Yes.
Like an Eric Taylor Salon Republic
Well,
aroma?
it'll be Passion Squared branded.
Okay.
But I'm gonna make it special. Custom.
Yes, I love it. I love it. What a great idea.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Hey everybody, it's Eric Taylor here with The Hair Game, and I'm here with Nina Kovner
Hi, guys.
from Passion Squared, founder, CEO, president, everything of Passion Squared, and we're here at Passion Squared headquarters in downtown Los Angeles.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
I love having you here.
Thank you. I love being here. It's so comforting and everything, and you know, it's like being at your home and kind of sharing a little bit of your life. It's kind of neat. So, okay, tell us about your journey through the industry so far. Where did you start, and how did you get to where you are?
By the way, this is my home. You said it felt like home. I hope so, because I live here too.
Exactly.
And welcome back.
Thank
welcome
you.
back.
I have been here before.
Yes.
Disclosure.
Full disclosure. So, my journey is so similar to so many other people in the beauty industry. I went to beauty school. I in the 80s.
Like 5 years ago.
5 years ago in the 80s. I was, like so many people, I wanted to always do hair, but I was kind of pressured to do the college thing, and that was a fucking disaster. And so...
The college thing was?
Oh my gosh.
I didn't know that you went to college.
Oh yes, I did. I went to Chico State.
Nice.
In Northern California. I was 17 years old. And I went for 2 years and completed less than one semester.
Over 2 years?
Oh, yeah.
That's
possibility
very efficient.
of 4 semesters. I completed less than one.
Very efficient.
But what I did learn, I really found out I was an incredible leader very early on, because I was the president of my the little sisters at a fraternity.
Okay.
So my emphasis and focus and study was partying.
Okay,
Yes.
that's good.
And
You can learn a lot.
Teaching underage people how to drink.
Very good.
And hang out. So, so it didn't work out. So, of course, I finally decided to do what I always wanted to. Went to beauty school and walked in, and my life had was changed forever. However, when I got out of beauty school, I worked in the salon all through school, assisting, and went to every hair show I could possibly go to. And so when I graduated, I became an educator for a hair care company, like right out of beauty school. And that led me to moving completely over to the business side of the business in my 3rd year of my career. So even though I did go to school and I did do hair and I was an educator and a platform artist, I have spent the majority of the last 30 years on the business side of the business.
Okay.
Yeah. And working with distributors, marketing, education, events. I was vice president of marketing for a major hair care company for many years. And in 2009, I left and decided to follow my heart. I wrote a book about it and started Passion Squared in 2012.
What is your book called?
It's called Follow Your Heart.
Follow Your Heart. Very good title.
Thank you.
Okay, and at Passion Squared, what do you do?
Well, as a marketer and as just a passionate person about business, I love business. And I always have, obviously. I was seeing a trend in kind of the early 2000s when I was still in my job at the hair care company, and I was fascinated by this thing with the internet and with digital and websites and e-commerce and social. And so when I found I had lots of time on my hands, I started really digging deeper into what's happening, and what does that mean in terms of small business. I understood what it meant in terms of big business, but I was still trying to wrap my mind around what's the value for small business. And that's really when I got into the social and digital web for small business. And that was the whole inspiration behind Passionsquared. It was all about social and digital. The bummer was, in 2012, nobody wanted to listen. They were like, what are you talking about? Facebook's dumb. It's a fad. It's going away, blah, blah, all that stuff. So business was tough, to say the least. And I did several kind of pivots and reinventions over time. In this current kind of iteration of the business, I've been really focused on since 2013, 14. So it's still very new. It's still very new. But I get to empower the people that I love every single day through coaching, through education. I have mostly online. I have online membership programs. I do very limited one-on-one coaching. I do offline workshops a lot here at Passionsquared Loft. And I do some limited executive coaching for leaders in the industry that are looking to become better versed in social and digital to help serve their communities and their clients. So it's awesome.
Yeah, so I can see that at least from my perspective, that you're a pretty good link between maybe the ivory tower of one of these corporations, right?
Been in it.
Right? You've been to that, and you've been on the ground level, right? So you connect them both, which I think is so valuable, because sometimes the ivory tower doesn't like to spend time on the ground level.
Yeah.
Or they don't do it enough, and so they like to be connected to that. So I could see how you would be really valuable there. One thing that you talk about that I really like is the awesome client journey. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So I'm a student. I'm a student of business and business models, and I always have been. This isn't anything new. This is one of the reasons I was so successful in my career as a marketer, is that I understood systems and operations, and I could see how things connect and work together. So I found somebody back in 2010. His name is Brian Solis. Brian Solis is, he calls himself a digital anthropologist. And he's a genius, and he works with Fortune 50 companies, travels all over the world, super smart guy and super nice guy. And I stalked him long enough on the internet that we became friends. And so he has been a huge influence for me when it comes to understanding the client, the customer journey. Of course, it's very different in a Fortune 50 than it is in a small business, but in a lot of ways it's the same. So the way that I've kind of adapted with his inspiration, really looking at what do clients do every day online. And it really comes down to four things. It starts with intent. I mean, we do this every day. I just got 4 packages this morning. I got a little over shopaholic the last
Amazon
week.
packages?
And all of a sudden, all these packages. And then I start feeling weird at the front desk when I pick them up, because I'm like, can you just see that I went on some crazy ass shopping spree? Anyways.
We all do it.
We all do it. So it begins with intent. I want something, right? So it could be a new lipstick. It could be a t-shirt. It could be a book, whatever, it doesn't matter. Groceries, a hair appointment, right? So I intent, I want something. And so now I'm going to go search for it, right? So we have so many different search options in 2017. Search has changed just in the last 6 months. It changes every day. Right. The iOS 11 update, Siri just got smarter. Yeah. So, I mean, search is insane. I love her. She and I have a little kind of weird relationship sometimes.
Okay.
But sometimes anyways, I mess with her just for fun. But so search, it could be search, traditional search. It's so funny to call Google traditional search, but it really is.
Yeah, it is.
Search engine search. It could be search on Facebook. It could be search on Instagram, search via Twitter, mobile search, Yelp search, Siri. Alexa. I mean, look at what fucking Alexa.
Yeah,
I mean,
Echo.
that is nuts with
Yep.
the Echo thing and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So there's so many ways to search. So the next step is you find something, right? You go on this search for something, and you find it. What I call discovery, and that's really where one of the first workshops that I ever did when I started Passionsquared was, "Are you there, Salon? It's me, client." And if there's any old folks watching this, there was a big book when I was young by Judy Blume, "Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret." It was like a coming of age story for young girls. And so that was the inspiration behind that. But anyways, it was all about discovery. It was all about search and discovery. So again, back then, not everyone kind of clicked it together. And still today, people still are not entirely sure what it means. And so that's why I have a business, right?
Yeah,
that's why I have a company and a job, is because I can help so many people with understanding this and then turning that into, obviously, a business driver for them. So in the discovery phase, can I find you, right? So are you discoverable? Whether it be via Google, via Yelp, via Facebook, Instagram, whatever. Are you discoverable? Where your target audience, your clients, your tribe, your people, whatever you want to call them, where they're looking. Are you there? And if you are there, if you make it easy for me to discover you, when I find you, am I going to be inspired to take an action with you? And this is what Brian Solis calls a moment of truth. Ultimately, I'm either going to be inspired to click or swipe left or right. I'm going to be inspired to hit the follow button or not. I'm going to be inspired to text you for an appointment or go to your online booking platform or call you or whatever. Take some sort of action. Subscribe, buy, book, call.
Yeah.
So where I see tremendous opportunity over and over and over again is the fact that designing that journey for yourself as a small business is critical, and understanding, and that's just getting them to the business. Then there's the whole other experience that happens, once an appointment's booked, and the technology that you're using for confirmation, all that shit. And then what I was talking about actually this morning on my Facebook Live was the offline experience, because there is so much emphasis being put online, or emphasis on Instagram and attracting all this new business. And I'm seeing a retention problem. And I think that for some people that were raised up in the social age, there's so much focus on online, but not a lot of polishing on the how do you actually deal with the fucking client when they come in.
Right. Okay. So you're talking about reverse engineering the process by which a hairstylist can gain a client, right?
Yeah.
Put themselves in the shoe of a client, how the client finds a hairdresser. Let's say they have a bad experience with their current hairdresser. How are they going to go about finding a new one, right?
Happens every day.
Happens every day. So very, very important to go through that process as a hairdresser yourself, right? And maybe act like a client yourself and do it.
Design it. You can design it and audit it and absolutely connect with other. I mean, go be a client.
Yes.
It's so easy to lose perspective. And it for people that follow me, I'm constantly getting services done. Yeah. I think you can tell by my Insta story. Sometimes I don't even Insta story it because I'm like embarrassed that it's like, I'm fucking in another like salon or getting my lashes done or my hair done, colored, cut, braided.
I feel like that too.
Eyebrows, henna, whatever.
Yeah. So you're constantly going through the process.
But it's where I get most of my blog topics, most of my live chat topics, most of my everything, because, really experiencing this in real time. Online, it's obviously easier for me to do that because I'm online all the time. But offline is equally, if not more important still. And I just feel like because so much emphasis has been put online, that the basic fundamentals of delivering an awesome client experience offline may be in trouble.
Interesting. We just talked to Tab Salzman. You know Tab?
Love Tab.
Yes, Tab's the best. So we went through a lot of chairside manners and things like that. Yes. And so all very good stuff. Is there anything particular that you kind of see faltering out there right now? Any part of that experience? The offline, the in-person?
Yes. A few things that are, and again, really nothing new, but with all the options out there and being able to be discovered online, it's even more important if you want to retain a client. You better deliver this consistent experience. So I would say one thing is listening.
How do you do that?
I hate to, we're in the listening business. And we are collectively not the best listeners.
Yeah.
Because we're like...
Right. Oftentimes just waiting to talk, right? Instead of listening to the words.
It's amazing what we can learn when we listen. And this is online as well as offline. And, when I talk about, when I'm coaching my clients on brand development and strategy, a big part of that is who's your audience? What do they value? What are their problems? Well, how do I figure that out? Just fucking listen to them. They're telling you every second of what their problems are. Like one of my biggest problems is that my hair literally grows as it's being cut. And so finally, my hair cutter, Carlos at Sugar Skulls, shout out, finally came up with a great idea to get me my own shaver.
Oh, funny.
Now, most people wouldn't do that with a client, but I'm a former hairdresser. I'm not a complete hack. I still go get my hair cut every 10 days. But in between, literally every other day, I can at least keep it tight. Yeah. And a client could be bitching and moaning about maintenance. Hello. That's a whole content strategy right there, just on low maintenance products, low maintenance styles, low maintenance tips, low maintenance whatever. And so listening is a big one. And then, of course, the experience has to be awesome, but post-experience. What I'm also finding as this kind of these social businesses are being built, very different than the old days. And we're building these clienteles online, lots of independents, as you know, that are using something like Square to book appointments and generate and payment process. There's a huge thing missing, and that's called knowing what's going on in your business. What's your client retention? What's your pre-book percentage? These are indicators of awesome experience or not so awesome experience. What's your follow-up? Are you doing thank you notes? Are you doing post-experience phone calls? Or whatever. So there's a chunk of post-experience that unless we have that intel, we may find that we're constantly taking new clients. And as you know, you're a smart businessman. That's not how you build a business. That's a road to nowhere. And strong brands, strong businesses are built on loyalty, existing clients, and of course, new clients as they come in. But so definitely a lot of things, and I'm sure Tab touched on many of them, but the listening part on every step of that journey, designing that journey to what your audience values, and everybody's got a different audience.
Yep.
Some people may value luxurious, lingering experiences, and some people, like me, I want to be in and out.
Right.
Love you, but I got shit to do.
Right.
And so something as simple as saying hello when I walk in the door, that matters to me.
Right.
Offering me a beverage within the first few minutes, that matters.
Yep.
I was in a business that obviously I've never returned, where I was coughing for probably 45 seconds. I was already there 5 minutes, no beverage offering.
Nobody cared.
And I was coughing. Nobody had a client. There were probably 6 people in the business.
Right.
Nobody had a client.
Right.
And I'm all...
It's part of listening, right?
And I'm all, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So I got a blog post out of it. So I was grateful for that. But they lost a client. And of course, I never got a phone call, never got a text, never got a phone call, never got an email, never got anything saying, we miss you.
Yeah.
What happens? Come back.
They don't give a shit.
They don't give a shit.
And clients have gotten really sophisticated these days, right? Maybe even just
yes.
subconsciously, maybe they don't know why they didn't really like an experience, but it usually has to do with, did the business give a shit?
And that's one of the biggest differentiations of any business because there's so many options available.